You have to have a free and uncorrupted communication. This is so the heart of living in a complicated technological world, not because we're not aware of the dangers of the world we live in, but because these dangers cannot be met in any other way.
Technical feasibility of deriving virtually unlimited amounts of power from controlled nuclear reactors seems very certain.
If we're really serious about the problems of climate change and energy abundance, we would use the most serious technology we have. We tried everything we could on renewables, but we cannot get to the kind of energy profile that we need without nuclear.
You could expand it, right? Have you talked to Westinghouse about what else that you could produce?
Here they have some important that nuclear, everything happens first.
In the US, we haven't had any new plants built in 30, 40 years. That's what began my investigation into it.
The main problem is Americans lost the capacity.
They didn't build any reactors for 30 years, so the knowledge was lost.
My grandfather used the term, the problem of nuclear energy, and making a bomb out of it is only one of the applications. And he forecasted very accurately that if we didn't handle global cooperation, specifically around fissionable material, then we would have a challenge meeting the promise of nuclear energy.
It would seem to me almost inevitable that in a world committed to atomic armament, the shadow of fear, secrecy, constraint, and guilt would hang heavy over much of nuclear physics. The operation of reactors and the manufacture of weapons are rather closely related. Wherever materials are made for weapons, they can be used for reactors.
That type of cooperation you need to reduce nuclear weapons is the same type of cooperation you need to expand nuclear energy.
It is a practical thing to avert an atomic war. It is a practical thing to recognize the fraternity of the peoples of the world.
There's practical steps of making profit on making nuclear energy. And I've been doing research, getting feedback of what could Oppenheimer Energy Ventures bring into the world.
We are going to the Croatia nuclear power plant. Produces 40% of the power for the whole country of Slovenia.
I am a little discouraged about the US. Not easy to get a nuclear power project going.
What we are lacking really is effective decision-making process.
They don't want to take the risk.
All the people who are working, we are pushing.
I think that's going to keep going on until we find out whether there's a significant contribution here, or I'm going around talking about impossible things that can't happen and make no progress with it. It could go either way.
Science has profoundly altered the conditions of man's life, both materially and in ways of the spirit as well. It has extended the range of questions in which man has a choice.
So I was thinking this morning in a moment of hopelessness, maybe we should go to Corsica and track down the mystical experience, transformation of Robert Oppenheimer. He got to the point of hating himself so much and then going through this mystical transformation in Corsica where he realized, even though I disapprove of myself so much, I need other people and they need me. It shaped the rest of his life.
Where there is symmetry, some part of a thing is like some other. It means there is some relatedness in the system. It was early discovered that the electrons in atoms have such symmetry that when you interchange any two of them, the state changes sign. It is odd.
There is something going on here which limits classical ideas. They don't quite apply. You look for transcendence. You look for features of experience that are not available in ordinary life.
On that trip, he was, in the midst of a mental breakdown. How could it be that my grandfather has this tendency to hate himself? My dad does, and I do. And that's who we are. Robert transcended in a way that allowed him to be one of the most successful historical figures in all time.
Symmetries describe only a part of the story, but in terms of the richness of nature, a special part.
Individuality, wholeness, the subtle relations of what is seen with how it is seen, the indeterminacy and the acausality of experience.
I have been much concerned that in this world of change and scientific growth, we have so largely lost the ability to talk with one another.
But here, on the IAEA stage, even Jeff's panel had Chinese, Russian. In a diplomatic setting, I can't think of right now where else this is happening. It really struck me. So I went up and then I met the Chinese and Russian and said, I'm an American, and this is one area where we can actually cooperate.
We live in a very unusual world, marked by great and irreversible changes that occur within the span of one man's life.
What I've envisioned around this project is happening. And talking for Robert Oppenheimer's views, we're bringing some people together, we're headed towards building a nuclear reactor. Are those just going to keep happening as I imagine them? That would be pretty exciting because the ultimate destination is world peace.
I think there is only one such course, and that in it lies the hope of all our futures.